What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for PlayPicks.com, taking a first look at these Week 6 lines over at the New Jersey online sportsbooks. First look, odds just popped up, and the article at The Lines over here, www.thelines.com. You can take a look at all these in written form if you want to. Great site for not only New Jersey sports betting information, but nationwide sports betting information, thelines.com. Be sure and take a look at that. So coming down here, of course, Week 6 lines, going to take a look at the online sports books there. DraftKings, FanDuel, Sugar House, BetStars, 888. Those are the places. If you take a look over at thelines.com and at playpicks.com, you can get all of the best sign-up bonuses at these online casinos. So if you're at these online sportsbooks as well. So if you are in and or around the New Jersey area, be sure and take a look at that stuff. All right. So let's take a look here, fellas. And of course, the Thursday night game here, Philadelphia and the Giants. We got the Philadelphia Eagles coming in as 3-point favorites, 45 across the board in this one, 44.5 over there at William Hill. The Eagles in desperate need of a win. They might already be out of it, but man, really, really going to be needing a win in this one. Giants, man, just can't get out of their own way. Even when they score over 30 points for the first time in 37 games, still can't get a win out of that thing. So Giants, really rough there. Washington not on the board yet. They're going to play Monday Night Football, so we'll see how they come out of that as far as injuries go and things of that nature. Arizona and Minnesota here. Minnesota big 10.5-point favorites over Arizona. We're looking at a 43-point total here. Minnesota kind of coming into its own here, I think, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The defense still remains a little bit of a concern. Certainly one of the teams we thought was going to have a strong defense heading into this season, and hadn't seen that so far this year. But against Arizona, it doesn't really matter now, does it? 10 in the hook, though, is the interesting thing there. Already at 10 in the hook against this Arizona team. Going to be interesting to see how the money flows in on this one, getting 10 in the hook there. Chicago at Miami. Last time people saw Chicago, they were beating up, scoring. Mitch Trubisky was throwing 6 touchdown passes, all the craziness like that. And then the last time people saw Miami, they were blowing a 17-point lead to the Bengals, losing 27-17. Chicago, 3-point favorites on the road there at Miami, 44 total across the board at DraftKings, FanDuel, Sugar House, BetStars, and 888, except when you get over to William Hill. We got the 43.5 over there. Buffalo and Houston, this game's not on the board. I imagine this is because wondering what the status is of Deshaun Watson. If you watched Sunday Night Football, you saw that he was continuing to get treatment on the sidelines between, every time that he went over there. The doctors looked like they were looking at his rib cage and whatnot. So I imagine they're going to hold out and try to get some information one way or the other on Deshaun Watson's status, because that makes all the difference in this game as far as what we're going to be looking at from a sports betting standpoint. The Colts at the Jets. The Jets beat down the Broncos this week at home. Now they get the Colts. They enter this game as 2.5-point favorites. 45.5 is the total across the board right here. Andrew Luck looking better each week, though. I will say that. Andrew Luck is looking better each week. People were worried about his arm strength, and then he went out there last week and proved that he had it. He was actually throwing downfield and things like that. So pretty interesting here as to how this moves if this gets to 3, because I imagine there's going to be some regional bias over there on the East Coast. And if that's the case, I imagine some sharps are going to come in pretty heavily on the Colts if this were to get to 3, probably bump that thing right back down to 2.5. Chargers at the Browns. And can you believe this? The Chargers are only a point favorites, 1.5 there at BetStars over the Cleveland Browns. That is true. The Cleveland Browns got another win. It did take an overtime, but they got another win. The ugliest field goal you've ever seen in your entire life, but it doesn't really matter. It went through the uprights, and that's what you get. You got the Cleveland Browns with a win. Very interesting. I mean, this Cleveland defense is going to be something to be reckoned with here moving forward. If you look at the offenses they've played and how they've performed against these offenses, I'm telling you, man, like, this defense can play, and I think they're going to be a tough out. I'm not saying they're going to win a whole bunch of games this year. What I'm saying is they're going to be a tough out for just about anybody moving forward. Chargers defense, again, kind of like the Vikings, thought to be one of their strong suits heading into this season, has not been the case so far. Coming up here a little bit further, Going to take a look at this this Pittsburgh and Cincinnati game, probably the marquee game of the week outside of the Chiefs and Patriots. Man, Pittsburgh finally put it all together, went out there, just absolutely smashed at home against the Falcons this past week. Falcons just can't get it done on defense. They're just so injury plagued on defense. It doesn't really even matter how good the offense is. They're literally going to have to score on every single possession to win games, and that's just not realistic. So pretty interesting to see how the Falcons season goes here over the next couple of games, because I mean they could be out of it really soon. This Pittsburgh team, however, are dogs, 2.5-point dogs on the road at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, of course, mounted that big comeback against the Dolphins this past week. Pittsburgh 53.5 at BetStars. You're getting that extra hook there on the total. Kind of lean to the under early looking at this one. Kind of lean to the under here. Cincinnati got Vontaze Burfict back on defense. Certainly going to help them. And these division games and things like that, I don't know. I tend to shy to the under when it gets up that high, but we shall see later in the week how I end up playing this game. Seattle at Oakland. Seattle, man, just fought against the Rams. That's all. I mean, definitely fought in that game. I thought the Rams were going to absolutely smash. That Rams defense, man, that offense is definitely well polished, but that Rams defense leaves a little bit to be desired. I think it's going to be something we're going to be monitoring moving forward to see if they can plug some of those holes, because again, kind of like another one of those teams where they're just going to have to outscore everyone week to week because this defense is not getting any stops. But Oakland, 3-point dogs at home to Seattle, which lets you know the state of the Raiders football team, because Seattle has not been playing very well. Seattle's not a very good football team, and Oakland is a home dog to Seattle in this game. Tampa Bay, coming off the bye, Jameis Winston going to be under center for them. 57.5 is the total in this game on the road at Atlanta. Just mentioned, Atlanta can't stop anybody, but they have a really good offense, so they score a lot of points as well. Tampa Bay has their problems on defense. 57.5. It's going to be funny when this game closes at like 59, but I imagine the over is going to come rolling in on this game. I mean, two teams with decent offenses and two teams with bad defenses, and it's going to be fireworks in that one for sure. Rams, 7-point favorites on the road at Denver. The Rams might be without two of their top three wide receivers in Cooper Kupp and Cook there, because both of those guys dealing with a concussion protocol that's going on there. So that could be pretty interesting for that team as well. That being said, don't really know if they'll need those guys. Josh Reynolds stepped in. He had to play a lot for the Rams last year as it was anyway. So he could step in, be the number 2 there behind Woods. And of course, they still have Gurley. They still have Goff. And this Denver team is just not very good. 52.5 total, though. Do lean to the under early on that one. We'll see how that goes. Baltimore at Tennessee. Who wants to watch this game? Not me. 2.5-point favorites on the road at Tennessee. You guys go at that. You're going to get no analysis from me. Can't stand either one of those teams. Jacksonville and Dallas. Leonard Fournette already ruled out in this one. I imagine that was the early reason for this game not being on the board here. Imagine the totals and numbers will be coming up pretty soon. Leonard Fournette already ruled out for week 6 for that team. And here's the marquee game of the week, the Chiefs and the Patriots. 58.5-point total. Guys, these totals are just like crazy high, crazy high. The new NFL, though, right? I mean, there's all these penalties being called. Even when you don't complete a pass, you're getting either pass interference or roughing the passer, different things like that. So these offensive drives just continue to go even when they're not clicking. So we're going to see these high totals. We're going to continue to see them rise. 58.5 across the board at every one of the books. You're getting 3 in the hook at DraftKings, Sugar House, and 888. Just 3 at FanDuel and BetStars in this one. I cannot wait to watch this game. This Chiefs defense is not very good. This Patriots team looks like they got a little bit going this past week. Edelman being back is certainly a big help for this team. Josh Gordon got a little bit more involved. Gronk, the health of Gronk certainly is something we're going to be monitoring going into this one. Last game of the week, 49ers at Green Bay. You saw Green Bay. fight pretty good against the Lions, and really and truly the score's not really indicative of that game all that much because they left so many points on the field with all those missed field goals and extra points and things like that. Big 9.5 point home favorites over the 49ers. 49ers, of course, going to be are without Jimmy Garoppolo. 10 points already, up to 10 points at FanDuel Sportsbook as we take a look at that one early here in the week. If you go over to thelines.com, www.thelines.com, you will find where to bet here. These are some of the very best deals on the internet, and this is the very best deal on the internet. DraftKings Sportsbook, $25, absolutely free. No deposit necessary. 888-SPORTSBOOK, $10 free. No deposit necessary there as well. Up to $100 bonus at FanDuel whenever you deposit. That's on your first deposit, a deposit match, and then Sugar House up to a $250 deposit match on that whenever you get going in that game. So very, very interested in seeing how Week 6 plays out. Some very juicy games, some very juicy totals, and some very important games as we move forward. Of course, this big one right here, the Chiefs and the Patriots, everybody's going to be talking about that game here in Week 6. Guys, good luck, and please take advantage of all the deals over there on thelines.com.